Jai Mahamaya Ki Jai, Bole Baba Ki Jai. In our last discourse, we learned about the marriage of Devaki and Vasudeva and the promise that Vasudeva made to Kamsa so that he would not kill Devaki when he heard the sound from the heavens saying that her 8th son would kill him. Let's go on to chapter 21. Vedavyasa said, O king of Janamajaya, thus in due course Devaki, the goddess incarnate, being united according to rules with Vasudeva, became pregnant. When full pregnancy was over, a good-looking and beautiful child, a male, was first born to Devaki. Then the good-natured Vasudeva remembered his promise and also what is ordained by heaven, and he spoke to Devaki, the part incarnate of Aditi. O fair-looking one, you know that I saved your life at our marriage by swearing on oath to deliver all your newborn children to Kamsa. Now has come the time to hand over your child to Kamsa. O good-haired woman, now I will hand you this child to Kamsa. No, Kamsa is very cruel and wicked. I cannot say what step he will take, urged on by fate to kill your child. O sweet one, we have no hands in this matter. The effects of karma are exceedingly puzzling. Ordinary persons cannot know them. All persons are subject to time, the destroyer, and enjoy the merits or demerits of their past deeds. The effects of past karma are fashioned by the Creator. Knowing this, allow me to take your child. Devaki said, O Lord, certainly men have to suffer fully the effects of their past karmas, but can that not be upset by reciting in holy places, practicing penitence and asceticism, or by making generous gifts? The high-minded Maharishis have fixed rules of penitence for destroying the sins of past deeds. 12 years vows to observe penances can purify one from huge sins like stealing gold, drinking, or stealing the wife of one's preceptors, and many other things. O sinless one, will not anyone be freed from their sinful effects if they observe practices and penances as are ordained by Manu and the other Manus? If you don't accept penances to be sufficiently purificatory, do you mean to say then that what the Marishis, seers, and other promulgators of the religious doctrines have uttered as an act of dire falsehood and villainy? O my husband, what is in the womb of faith will surely come to pass. If this be taken as granted, then the whole Ayurveda medical books and mantra Vedas and the science and recitation of mantras or sacred formula turn out utterly fruitless and false. If all the actions are under the control of fate, then no effect can come out of any effort. So all efforts are reduced to no effect. If what be ordained by heaven is to come to pass, then what is the use of taking recourse to any action and agnistrotum sacrifices that are declared to lead to heavens? Judge, if heaven or fate you consider all in all, then the whole Vedas, the revelations from God's mouth, turn out to be false. If the Vedas be false, then there is no reason why the whole Dharma will not be destroyed. Now, when it is seen that effects do come out whenever any exertion is made, then you ought to think out carefully and find out some means to avert danger. Therefore do you judge and find out a good way of preserving the life of our newborn baby. The learned people say that to tell a lie is not a sin, if you can thereby save a life and have an honest motive for the welfare of all. Vasudeva said, O blessed one, I now tell you what is truth and the matters connected with truth. Effort, application, and manifestation of energy are certainly the duties of men, but their effects are all under the great destiny of fate. The pundits, knowing the ancient lore, saying that there are 3 kinds of karma mentioned in the Puranas. First, the Sanchita karma, which is done in past birth. The Parabha karma, the karma already done, and the Vartaman karma in hand. The karma auspicious and inauspicious done in many previous lives and preserved in seed forms remain always inherent in human soul. Urged on by this karma, the jivas quitting their previous bodies enjoy heaven or hell as effects of these and their own acts. According to their good or bad works, the jivas acquire the higher happy body and enjoy various pleasures in heaven, or they take up very painful, vicious bodies and suffer various pains in hell. At the expiry of the above period in heaven or hell, when there comes the time of his assuming another body, the jiva becomes conscious of the subtle body and takes his birth again. When the subtle body comes into existence, the part of the karma done in various previous births that are ripe and ready to yield their fruit gets attached to that jiva by God or destiny. Therefore, the collective effect of karma done in previous births always exists in a jiva's body. O fair-eyed one, the effects of Parabha karma, ripened and ready to yield their fruits, must have to be experienced by a jiva, whether happy or unhappy. O beautiful young woman, penances performed according to rules destroy the effects of karmas that are in hand and are weak, i.e. not yet accumulated strongly as to remain in seed forms. The Parabha karma, those acts out of the previous acts done in previous births that are fully mature and ready to yield their fruits, cannot be averted. Their effects must have to be experienced, and then they can die away. They cannot be expired by penances or any other remedial measures. Therefore, you must hand over unconditionally your newborn babe into the hands of Kamsa. O Goddess, I have never done any blamable action, nor have I told any lie. Therefore do you fulfill your truth and hand over your baby, O Devi. Dharma is the only thing permanent and real in this fleeting world. Even the births and deaths of high-souled persons are subject to the great destiny. Therefore the jivas ought not to be sorry when there is no help for it. O dear one, what shall I say to you? Know that this much, that his life is spent in vain, who is lost to truth, O beautiful one. Whose life is destroyed, what can he expect in life to come? Therefore, O Goddess, give me your baby, and I will hand it over to Kamsa. If we can observe this truth, we will meet with ample rewards afterwards. There is no doubt in it. Where there are pains and pleasures for the jivas, there it is highly incumbent on us to do good and meritorious deeds. If we can act according to truth, we will certainly get good fruits. Thus addressed by Vasudeva, the husband of Devaki, who was very much grieved and intelligent, gave over the newly born baby, her whole body trembling, to the hands of Vasudeva. The virtuous Vasudeva took that baby and went out to the Kamsa's palace. On the way, the people, seeing him thus, were very much astonished and began to praise him. The people said, "Oh, people, see how Vasudeva is sensible to keep his words. He's taking his son to hand over to Kamsa. This truthful and high-souled man, free from malice, is going to give up his son to the hands of Kamsa, who is the death personified. See his wonderful patience. This man's life is really high, noble, and true." Vasudeva, thus praised, reached at last the Kamsa's palace and handed over his newly born son to Kamsa. The king Kamsa, too, was very much astonished to see this wonderful patience of Vasudeva. Then he went aloft. He held aloft the child and laughed and said, "O son of Surasena, you have been blessed today, giving me your son just now. But the voice from heaven said that your 8th son will be the cause of my death. This your first son is not my cause of death. Therefore, I will not kill this baby. You can take your baby back to your house." O high-minded one, let me have your 8th son brought here. When he will be born, I hope you will positively do it. The cruel and wicked Kamsa returned the child and said, let this child go back safely to his home. When the king Kamsa said thus, Vasudeva, the son of Sursina, gladly took his child back and came home. Then the king Kamsa told his ministers that the heavenly voice told him the 8th son would be the cause of his death, and so there was no necessity to kill that child. There was no need to incur sin by killing the first child. The ministers, hearing the king Kamsa's words, began to praise him very much and exclaimed repeatedly, well done, well done. They went away to their respective homes when ordered to do so by Kamsa.